Hi, welcome to the channel, or hopefully welcome back to the channel. Solo today, and hopefully I've got the camera set up correctly. If not, concentrate on the carburetors, not what parts of me they got cut out. Anyway, decided to do a short video because I have run into something that might help some of you people. I don't think anybody's doing it on purpose, but first a little background. I had wanted to try a little different carburetor than what I normally run on my vehicles, and it is what's known as a Holley double pumper. And the double pump part comes from the fact that it's a mechanical secondary, which I'll explain in just a minute. What I've run into in trying to find this double pumper is quite a few people think that every Holley carburetor is a double pumper, and it's not. Actually, the majority of them will be what's known as a vacuum secondary, as opposed to a mechanical secondary. And I'll explain that right now. I'll start with the vacuum secondary because, quite honestly, in my opinion, 90% of the time, that's what you will be running, and it works just fine. Over the years, it's all I've run on my vehicles, and they're very forgiving and very easy to tune if you need to, and they work great. And I'll get into in a minute why I decided to go with a mechanical secondary. But anyway, when you actuate, notice that the front primaries are the only thing that actually open up at this time. This vacuum pod here senses how much load is on the engine according to how much vacuum is being used, and what happens is you nail it, and after the engine starts flowing and needs more, then it'll slowly open up. And at full throttle, it's all the way open. Very simple. Just a little history doing the I got into a deep dive on doing the research on this, and I found out that the list number that this is 1850, very, very common one. I've used this particular carburetor on, let me see, Pontiac 400. I used it on a small block Chevy 400. I've used it on a big block 454, and I was getting ready to use it on the Corvette small block 350, which it would probably work just fine, but I wanted to go a little different direction. Anyway, this list 1850 turns out was originally for the Mercury 430, and Holley had supplied Mercury with the carburetor, and it was 600 CFM, cubic feet per minute, and worked great for that. And they decided to start offering it in a more universal form, and that's what you run into today when you get a Holley 600 CFM vacuum secondary. There are some other ones I won't get into those right now. I don't have the list numbers memorized, and really not that big of a deal. I know that the list number for a factory electric choke is going to be something different, and there's also variations for some of the smog setups. But when you buy the plain Jane 1850, you'll get one like this particular carburetor with a mechanical choke, which I'm not going to leave on. I'll get to it. But I have added a electric choke to this. I've added a quick change vacuum pod, so you can change the springs out for tuning. And I've also added a secondary metering plate that has jets in it, as opposed to the just the plain metering plate, which I did a video on that, changing it over if you want to check it out. It just adds a little more tunability. The reason I'm telling you all this is this would be a fine carburetor for my 72 Corvette that's going to be putting out about 350 horsepower to 330, somewhere in there. It would work just fine. I wanted to go a little different direction just for experimentation. So hence we have the list number 4777. And when you buy one of those, you get Holley, one of the shop dogs. You get a carburetor that has 2 accelerator pumps, as opposed to just a single accelerator pump. And why do you need 2 accelerator pumps? Hence, double pumper, by the way. Notice when you hit the accelerator, these open. They don't care what speed you're going, what load is on the engine, doesn't matter. You hit the gas, and all 4 of them are going to be open. Now when that happens, if you're in a low load situation, you're going to need more fuel to go with all of this air that's rushing in from the secondaries. When you open the secondaries, if you don't add fuel, you're going to have a huge lean bog. So that's what this second accelerator pump does. And supposedly you have very, very good acceleration when that happens. Will you have more than the vacuum secondary? I don't know. Some people say you do, some people say you don't. Just depends on how you set things up. So that's one of the things I wanted to find out. But when you're going to look for a Holley carburetor, in my opinion, 90% of the time you're going to want to go with the vacuum secondaries. The only reason that you could get away with running a mechanical secondary would be if you had a light car, like a Corvette, had a high stall torque converter, which I don't, I've got a manual, or if you have a manual transmission, which I do, and some fairly steep gears, which with the first gear on the 5-speed transmission, yeah, it's steep enough. I've got should have some fairly brisk acceleration, and that's what I'm trying to find out, if this will handle that. If it doesn't, I'll go back to this. I don't have a problem with it. But I just thought you folks might want to know what the difference is between the two, and why you would want to have one over the other. I don't know. I'll let you know what I like. Anyway, thank you for watching this far, letting me ramble. Hopefully it'll help someone later on down the road. I don't know if I told you, the carburetor on this one is a 650 CFM. I should probably have added that. I might just do that in the comments rather than hear me ramble on after I try to sign off. Anyway, if you could tell any friends who might be interested in this channel, tell them any way that you can. Like, share, subscribe, you know, all the good stuff. And again, thank you for making it this far. And hopefully fairly soon I can let you know how it works. Thank you.